Hey there YouTube friends, Steve here, and today I'm going to give an update on my Porter Cable 150 PSI air compressor that I have right here. Now, I own this air compressor about 12 or 13 years now. It served me well. There are a couple of minor issues with it that I'm going to tell you about in case you're interested in purchasing it. Okay, the first video I did for the Porter Cable air compressor was back in 2013. I got over 372,000 views on that. I'd like to thank everybody for checking that out and give me a thumbs up. So this is the same exact Porter Cable I'm reviewing. I'm going to let you know how I made out with it. I'm going to show you some accessories that you could hook up to it, and we're going to get to it right now. So here we go. Okay, now consider the fact that this compressor is about 12 or 13 years old, and I've used it a lot. A couple of minor issues. As you can see here, the plastic lens on the pressure gauge fogged up a little bit. Not a big deal. And I also had to change out the bleeder valve over here. So this is a bleeder valve I put on. The original one, if you look in the first video, had a different valve. That valve started to leak air a little bit, so I just swapped it out. I got this valve at Home Depot for about $6. It takes 5 minutes to change. All you need is an adjustable wrench to take the old valve off and put the new one on. So the compressor itself has not given me any issues. Now, I bought this at Home Depot as a set, and you got a couple of brad nailers with it. And these are the original brad nailers I was using in the first video. Now, the 18 gauge still works, no problem, but the 16 gauge recently broke, so I'm going to have to get a new one. Again, not a big deal considering the age of it, and you could buy these for maybe like 50 or 60 bucks. Alright, in the first video I just basically showed you how to hook up a brad nailer to the air compressor, but there's other things you could do with the air compressor as well. I bought this for about 15 or 20 bucks, and these are all different connectors you could use. This is a blowgun right here. You could blow off the dust on your workbench. You could fill up basketballs and footballs with it. You could put air in the tires of your car. So it's a really handy thing to have, and I'm going to show you how to hook these accessories up right now, and let's get right to it. Alright, so let's review the air compressor a little bit. We have two gauges here. This gauge is going to tell you how much pressure is in the tank. And this gauge right here is going to tell you how much pressure is going to the tool that you're using, and that's controlled by this black knob right here. Now, what I like about the air compressor, it has two couplings right here, so two people can work at the same time. You could hook two hoses up, and two guys could be doing a job of brad nailing, molding, or whatever. Now, to hook up the hose, all you do is push back the sleeve on this coupling. You put this end of the hose in there, and then you slide it back down, and now it's locked in place. Alright, I'm going to start out by demonstrating one of the accessories that came with the kit. This is just a blower gun. This is good for blowing off your tools or your workbench. And I'm going to start off by just screwing the connector in there, just like that. Make it good and tight, just hand tighten it. And now I'm going to hook it up to the other end of the hose. So it's the same thing. You pull back the sleeve on the coupling, you push it in, and then you close the sleeve like that, and now we're good to go. Alright, so we're good to go. I'm just going to start up the air compressor now. It's going to make a lot of noise, and then after about a minute it's going to shut off. Okay, you can see that the compressor just shut off just under 150 psi, and you can see we have nothing over here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn up this black knob, and you'll see the gauge gradually go up. I'm just going to turn it up to 40 psi for now. Alright, now if you can see, I have some dust in the handle of the Porter Cable here. I'm just going to blow that out with the gun. So you can see how you can clean up your tools. So that's a handy little thing. And I'll move on to another accessory now. Okay, now before I swap out accessories, I want to drop this down to 0. So I'm going to turn it counterclockwise, and you'll see the pressure goes down. So now there's no pressure going to the tool, and I'm going to change it out. I'm just going to pull the sleeve back on the coupling and pull the old one out. Okay, so now I'm going to need this attachment right here. So I'm just going to take that with me. Alright, so now I'm going to put some air in the tire of my van, and it's the same process. I have the tire inflator here and the adapter. I'm just going to screw the adapter in like this. Make sure it's good and tight. Take the other end of the hose, pull back the sleeve on the coupling, put it in, and then shut the sleeve just like this. And now I'm going to turn the gauge up, and I'm going to... Alright, one of my favorite things about owning an air compressor is that you could put air in your tires whenever you need to. No need to go to the gas station, wait online, and spend money. So I'm going to do that right now. I have the valve stem uncapped, and we'll just put some air in the tire. Alright, now I'm going to hook up the brad nailer. So I'm just going to take the tire inflator off. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to turn the knob counterclockwise to take all the air out of the tool, and I'm just going to undo the coupling like this, and now we'll hook up the brad nailer. Alright, now for both accessories I just showed you, I use this connector right here, but I already have a connector on the brad nailer, so I don't need that. So all I have to do is pull out the sleeve on the coupling, attach it like that, and lock it up just like that. Alright, so now to use the brad nailer, I'm going to turn up the pressure. I'm just going to move it to around 60. And I'm just for demonstration, I'm going to brad nail this paint stick to my bench. And it's as simple as that. Alright, I moved back to the blower gun because I want to show you how the compressor kicks back on by itself to fill the tank back up with air. You'll see this needle gradually go down. Once it hits somewhere around like 90, it'll kick back on and bring the pressure inside the tank back up. So I'm just going to waste some air out of the tank right now. Alright, now I'm done for the day, so I'm going to disconnect the hose. I'm going to take all the pressure out by again turning this knob counterclockwise. Undo the coupling, set the hose aside, and I'm going to bleed the tank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I turn this off already, so the compressor is off, and I'm going to just unplug it because we don't need it plugged in anymore. I'll wrap the cord up, and I'll show you how to bleed the tank. And you want to bleed the tank because you don't want condensation to build up in the tank and rust the tank out. So if you look at this gauge right here, I'm at about 120 psi. I'm going to pull this pin out, and we're going to drop it down to about 60. It's going to make a loud noise, and then I'll let the pin go back in. So here I go. Okay, so now I'm going to bleed the tank out. And as I said in the beginning of the video, I have a different valve that I installed on this. So if you want to see the original valve, go to the original video. But this is a Husky valve that I put on there. All I'm going to do is turn this little black knob. Air is going to come out in condensation, and we're just going to bleed the tank. You see the condensation in the water coming out there. And then once that's done, I am just going to turn that knob back to where it was. Okay, so that's my update on the Porter Cable 150 PSI air compressor. I hope I helped you out if you're thinking about buying one. As always, please subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.